My beloved child, do not look upon your difference as a flaw that must be hidden. Do not be so quick to make yourself smaller, just to fit into the mold others are used to seeing. There are things I have placed within you, not so that you would blend into the crowd, but so that you would become a quiet sign of heaven in this world. You may have wondered why you do not think like others, feel like others, or walk according to the familiar rhythm of the majority. You may have tried many times to force yourself to become more ordinary, easier to understand, easier to accept, just so you would not have to carry the feeling of being out of place. But I say to you, what you call difference may be the very mark I have placed upon your life. What you once felt ashamed of may be the place where I have hidden a mission. What you once wanted to change in order to resemble others may be the unique touch of my hand. I did not create you by accident. You are not a faded copy, not a product of randomness, nor someone born to live in another person's shadow. I knew you before you knew yourself. I placed within you abilities, holy desires, deep perceptions, unique perspectives, and even sensitivities that others may not immediately understand. Not every difference feels comfortable. Some differences make you feel lonely. There are things within you that are difficult to explain to the world. There are seasons when you feel as though you are walking a deserted road while everyone else seems to be moving along a wider and noisier path. But my child, the road I have chosen for you does not need to be crowded in order to be right. What I have placed within you does not need the approval of the majority in order to be precious. Remember that heaven does not create beauty through rigid repetition. Look at the fields. No flower is completely like another. No stream flows with the exact same melody. No star shines in the same way. My beauty is revealed through richness, through every distinct detail, through differences placed in their proper position within the great symphony of life. If everything were the same, how poor this world would be. So why do you think you must erase the color I have given you, diminish the voice I have planted within you, or hide your own light, simply because you fear that someone may not understand? You were not made to please every gaze. You were made to be faithful to what I have entrusted to you. Perhaps some people have made you believe that your sensitivity is weakness, your depth is a burden, your quietness is a lack of distinction, and your uniqueness is something that needs to be fixed. But I see you with different eyes. I do not measure your worth by the narrow standards of human beings. I do not call you by the names others once placed upon you when they did not understand the plan I was writing. Some people only see the outer shell, but I see the seed within. Some people only hear your silence, but I know there is depth in that silence. Some people only see that you are slower than they are, but I know you are being prepared more carefully. Some people think you do not fit, but I know you are being preserved for a more fitting place, a more fitting time, and a more fitting mission. Think of David when he was still in the fields tending sheep. In the eyes of many, he was only the youngest son, not worthy of being called into important selections. When Samuel came to Jesse's house, the tall, strong, impressive brothers passed before him one by one. According to human sight, they seemed more suitable, but I do not choose according to outward appearances. I look into the hidden place. David was different. He knew the lonely nights in the fields, the sound of the harp in solitude, the battles with lions and bears where no one applauded, and the worship of me when no one considered it great. Those seemingly ordinary, quiet, unnoticed things were the very place where I prepared a king. Do you see? What made David different was not a mistake. It was the private ground where I planted his mission. In the same way, you do not need to despise the seasons in which you are hidden. Not everyone I prepare is immediately placed before a crowd. Sometimes I keep you where few people can see, so that your roots may grow deep in me. Sometimes I give you experiences others do not understand, so that compassion may be formed within you, in a way no book can teach. Sometimes I let you walk through loneliness, so you may learn to hear my voice more clearly than the voices of people. Sometimes I allow you to carry a difference you once considered a burden, but later you will realize that it is precisely what helps you reach people others cannot reach. My preparation is often hidden, but it is never meaningless. Do not use comparison to wound yourself. Comparison is a distorted mirror that makes you forget the hand that formed you. When you look at others and ask why you are not like them, you overlook the beauty I have placed within you. When you long for someone else's voice, appearance, journey, gift, or opportunity, you may lose gratitude for the portion I have entrusted specifically to you. Each person carries a different vessel for my oil. Some vessels are placed in high places, some in small homes, some are used to anoint kings, and some are used to heal hidden wounds. The value is not in the shape of the vessel, but in what I pour into it and the purpose for which I use it. I want you to stop apologizing for your presence. Walk in humility, but do not walk as though you are a mistake. Be gentle, but do not erase yourself. Learn, but do not trade the identity I have given you just to be accepted. There is a false humility that makes you think denying your gift is holy. But my child, refusing what I have placed within you does not make you smaller before the world. It only causes you to bury the seed I desire to grow. When I give you a difference, I do not tell you to use it for pride. I tell you to offer it back to me, so I may purify it, guide it, and use it as light in the right place. At the right time, you were created with purpose. That does not mean you must understand that purpose fully today. A seed does not know the full shape of the tree while it is still hidden in the soil. It only needs to remain in its season, to be watered, protected, and grown according to the appointed rhythm. So it is with you. Do not rush to force yourself to bloom according to someone else's calendar. Do not let anyone hastily define you while I am still forming you. There are parts of you that need time to mature. There are gifts that must be refined through trials. There are doors that only open when your heart is steady enough not to be led astray by them. I am not late in revealing who you are. I am doing all things in a good and ordered way. Therefore, receive your difference as an invitation, not as a sentence. Bring your uniqueness into my hands. If any part of it has been wounded by the judgments of others, I will heal it. If any part of it has been mixed with pride, I will make it clean. If any part of it is hidden because you fear rejection, I will teach you to step forward with courage and wisdom. I do not want you to become someone else. I want you to become yourself in my light, healed, directed, sanctified, and sent out with a beauty that does not need to be borrowed. Remember, my child, heaven was not mistaken when it placed its mark upon you. Your uniqueness is not meant to separate you from love, but to bring you into your rightful portion within my greater plan. There are people who need your very voice. There are places that need your very gentleness. There are situations that need your sensitivity, perseverance, perspective, and story. If you try to become a copy of someone else, who will carry the light I have entrusted to you? Stand firm in this truth. You are not a mistake that needs to be corrected, but a work I am still perfecting. Let me use what is different in you like a small yet steadfast lamp, so that when the right time comes, it will illuminate the path. Only you are called to walk, my beloved child. Do not let the things that have stand like a long shadow across the road of today. I know there are memories that still try to call you by old mistakes. There are nights when the past returns like a cold whisper, reminding you of what you did wrong, what you lost, and what you once lacked the wisdom to preserve. But my child, you were not created to live forever in the room of shame. You were not called to return each day and pick up the chains I have already unlocked. What happened may be part of your story, but it has no right to rule your destiny. I am the one who knows where you have been, but I am also the one who sees who you can become when you allow me to lead you out of the old place. Hear me with peace. Guilt may point out where you need repentance, but if you continue to hold on to it after you have returned to me, it becomes a heavy garment that keeps you from walking. True conviction leads you into the light, helps you humble yourself, helps you correct your path, and makes you softer before me. But false condemnation is different. It does not want you to be renewed. It only wants you trapped in a cycle of self-blame, self-hatred, and self-doubt. It tells you that you have gone too far, waited too long, and broken too much to begin again. But I say to you, there is no place too deep for my hand to reach, no night too thick for my light to pierce through, and no heart too broken for me to rebuild with mercy. You often look at the ruins within yourself and think that I can only pity you, but can no longer use you. You look at wrong choices, years of wandering, words you wish you had never spoken, doors you opened by mistake, and you imagine that everything has been locked forever. But my child, I am not only the one who wipes away tears, I am also the one who rebuilds fallen walls, rekindles extinguished flames, and calls spring back upon ground that seemed dead. I do not restore by covering cracks with a thin coat of paint. I restore by touching the roots, changing what is inside, resetting the foundation, and causing you not only to rise again, but to rise with deeper wisdom, humility, and peace than before. Do not think my light is only for places that are clean, orderly, and easy to look at. Light is given precisely to enter darkness. If you hide your hidden corners from me because of shame, you will continue living in fear of being discovered. But if you open the door to me, you will see that I do not enter as one holding a rod of condemnation, but as a father carrying healing oil. I am not disgusted by the things you dare not speak of. I do not leave because of the broken pieces you think are too ugly. The very thing that makes you want to cover your face is the thing I desire to touch, not to wound you further, but to remove the power of darkness from it. When my light shines in, the truth may make you tremble, but it also sets you free from having to keep running. Do you remember the story of Peter? He once said he would remain faithful to the end, but in the hour of testing, he denied his teacher. The crowing of the rooster became a heartbreaking sound, like a mirror exposing the weakness he did not want to see. If the story had ended there, Peter might have remained only a man marked by the taste of failure. But I did not allow that failure to be the final line. After the resurrection, Jesus did not seek Peter out to reopen the wound with a voice of condemnation. He met him by the shore, beside a charcoal fire, where love was asked again not to humiliate, but to restore. 3 moments of weakness had wounded him, but love also lifted him 3 times and entrusted him again with a mission. Do you see? I do not deny what happened, but I have the authority to turn the place of stumbling into the place where grace calls a person again. So do not exclude yourself from the present, just because your past contains sorrowful chapters. Do not stand outside today's blessing simply because you think you deserve only to live under yesterday's shadow. I am not telling you to forget everything as though it never happened. I am teaching you to remember with wisdom, not with chains. Remember so you may become more humble, more compassionate toward others, less willing to return to the path that wounded you, and more grateful for the grace that lifted you up. But you must not remember in a way that punishes yourself. You must not turn memory into a prison. What I have forgiven, do not keep digging up only to bury yourself in it again. There are people who carry shame as though it were their name. They may not say it aloud, but in their hearts they constantly whisper, I am the one who failed. I am the one who did wrong. I am the one who can no longer be used. My child, do not let shame name you. I am the one who calls you by name. I call you a beloved child, found again, washed clean, raised up, and led into a new path. When I call, my voice is deeper than the voice of the past. When I place my hand upon you, that hand is stronger than every accusation. When I open a way, no old scar has the right to stand before you and say that you may not move forward. If you are still breathing, it means I am still writing. If you still return to me, it means grace is still at work. Let go, my beloved. Not responsibility. For a mature person knows how to acknowledge what was wrong and learn again how to live rightly. But let go of self-torment. Let go of the need to keep paying forever for what I have brought into the light. Let go of the fear that if you rejoice again, it means you have taken the past lightly. No. You may rejoice, because I have saved you from being swallowed by the past. You may have peace, because I have not called you to live under endless punishment. You may move forward, because restoration does not offend the truth. Restoration is the power of truth when it is placed within my mercy. Today, I am not calling you back to pitch a tent among the ruins. I am calling you to rise from them. Bring me the pieces you still hide, the stories you are still afraid to remember, the wounds you still cover beneath a normal appearance. I will not throw away your life because of the broken parts. I am the one who can take rubble and rebuild it into a fortified wall. Take ashes and create beauty. Take old weeping and teach you to sing a new song. Where people see only an ending, I can place a beginning. Where you see only darkness, I can light a lamp. Where you see only traces of failure, I can write the mark of mercy. Therefore, return to the present in trust. Today has grace for today. Today has light for today's steps. Today has my voice calling you out of the old room and into a wider sky. Do not drag yesterday's chains into the place where I am preparing something new for you. Do not let shame decide how you pray, how you love, how you serve, or how you hope. I did not leave you in darkness, so do not willingly remain there. Rise, my child. Wash your face with forgiveness, clothe yourself with courage, and walk as one who has been restored. I go before you. I am with you, and my light will never cease leading you out of the places that once held you back. My beloved child, listen to this with an awakened heart, but not with bitterness. My kindness does not reach only those who are lovable, pleasant, and easy to forgive in your eyes. My kindness has also reached those who turned their backs, those who spoke sweetly but acted with deceit, those who sat near the table of blessing while secretly nurturing betrayal in their hearts. I see everything. No false smile can hide from my gaze. No promise spoken with the intent to deceive escapes my hearing. No footstep enters darkness without me knowing it before it becomes action. But my child, what makes me different from the human heart is that I do not rush to send punishment the moment I see what is wrong. I am slow to anger, not because I am weak, but because I am merciful. I am patient, not because I do not see, but because I still desire the one who has gone astray to have an opportunity to return. There are people you think I should have dealt with immediately, because what they did wounded you, fractured your trust, and dishonored what you cherished. But I want you to understand that my delay is not my dismissal. When I do not act in the way you expect, it does not mean I agree with what is wrong. When I still give them time, it does not mean I am not standing on the side of truth. Sometimes that span of time is a final mercy trying to touch their hearts. I send reminders through circumstances. I allow restless sleep to stir them in the night. I use an accidental word from someone to pierce the shell of self-satisfaction. I let them see the consequences drawing near, not to frighten them, but to call them to stop before it is too late. Remember that I take no pleasure when a person falls into destruction through their own choices. I do not rejoice over the collapse of one who once did evil. My heart is the heart of a father, and even when I correct, that correction comes from holiness and righteousness, not blind anger. Many times I have whispered to them. Many times I have pulled them back from the edge with very gentle warnings. I have allowed them to feel the emptiness that follows wrongdoing so they may realize that darkness can never nourish the human heart. I have allowed them to see the truth in the mirror of conscience, even when they tried to turn away. But my child, if someone keeps covering their ears to my call, keeps treating my patience as permission to continue, keeps using my mercy as an excuse to delay repentance, then there comes a time when justice will rise. Do not misunderstand my justice. My justice is not like human revenge. Human beings often want others to hurt because they themselves have hurt. They want those who wounded them to taste the exact pain they endured. But I do not act from a wound. I act from a holy throne. When I judge, it is not to satisfy anger, but to restore the order that has been distorted. When I bring truth into the light, it is not to shame, but to end the power of deception. When I allow a person to reap what they have sown, it is not because I lack mercy, but because mercy, that has been despised for too long, can no longer continue shielding a hardened heart. Grace is never given to nourish sin. Grace is given to lead people back to life. Do you remember the story of Saul? He had been chosen, placed in a position of honor, and given the opportunity to walk in obedience. But little by little, his heart began to slip away from reverence for me. He listened to himself more than he listened to me. He kept what I had commanded him to release. He adorned disobedience with reasons that sounded reasonable. I did not remove him at the first wrongdoing. I sent warnings. I used the prophet to point out what was wrong. I gave him the opportunity to humble himself. But when a person's heart continues to choose the throne of self over surrender, what they are holding will gradually be taken from their hands. Not because I lack patience, but because leadership cannot forever be entrusted to a heart that treats obedience lightly. Do you see? My mercy may wait, but it never becomes an accomplice to rebellion. Therefore, do not allow your heart to be poisoned by watching a betrayer appear to remain at peace. There is a kind of peace that is only a still surface before the depths are stirred. There are smiles that conceal long sleepless nights. There are outward successes that cannot silence the call of conscience. I know how to touch a person where no one else can see. I know how to let truth catch up with footsteps that have run too far. I know how to remove a mask without noise. What you must do is not plead for repayment according to your emotions, but keep your heart from being infected by their darkness. Do not let another person's betrayal turn you hard. Do not let what they did steal the purity within you. Entrust them to me, for my hand is more righteous than all your reactions. I know there are times when you ask yourself, if I am merciful to them, what about your pain? My child, my mercy toward the wrongdoer does not lessen my love for the wounded one. I can call the betrayer to repentance while holding you in healing. I can wait for them to return while rebuilding what has been broken within you. I do not ask you to deny the truth and call that forgiveness. I do not tell you to stand still while deception continues to harm you. I teach you to set boundaries with wisdom, to pray without nurturing hatred, and to release vengeance from your hands so your heart will not be chained by what they did. Justice belongs to me, and because of that, you are free from the burden of becoming the judge yourself. Understand that every warning I send to a person is a door. Some hear and return with tears. Some stop before the edge and are saved from heavier consequences. Some allow brokenness to soften their hearts and then learn to walk in truth. But there are also those who choose to close the door, lock their hearts, regard my reminders as annoyances, and treat my silence as empty space in which they may continue deceiving. When they do this, they are not only resisting another person, they are resisting the light, and no one can hide from my light forever. What is hidden will one day be opened. What is sown in darkness will one day bear fruit before them. I do not need to hurry, because my timing is never wrong. As for you, let this truth keep you in peace. I am merciful, but I am also righteous. I forgive the truly repentant, but I do not call falsehood clean. I am patient with the lost, but I do not allow evil to rule forever without being confronted. I give opportunities, but opportunity is not endless when a human heart intentionally despises the light. So do not be confused when you see me acting slowly. My slowness has purpose. It will either lead people to repentance or reveal the hardness they have chosen. Either way, my justice will not fall asleep. Rest in this, my child. You do not need to carry the task of judging anyone. You do not need to keep a record of every wrongdoing to make sure they do not escape the truth. I have seen from beginning to end. I hear even the words they speak in secret. I know even the motives they hide beneath kindness. I weigh things not by emotion, but by holiness. Give your pain to me, and let me do what is right at the right time. If they return, I have the authority to restore. If they remain stubborn, I have the authority to judge. Your part is to remain in the light. Keep your heart tender. Walk in uprightness, and trust that not one of your tears has been forgotten before me. I am both a father full of mercy and a righteous king. In my hands, truth will be lifted up, the humble will be protected, and every wrong thing will finally bow before the light, beloved child. I am not limited by old methods. I can use what you have known before, but I can also use what you have never imagined. I can come through a great door, but I can also come through a small beam of light. I can answer by opening something, but I can also answer by closing something. I can give more, but I can also remove what is unnecessary, so your heart becomes lighter. I can place you in a visible place, but I can also hide you in a season of preparation, where your roots grow deep in silence. In whatever way I move, if it is me, it will lead you closer to truth, closer to peace, closer to maturity, and closer to pure love. So do not only ask me to repeat what I did yesterday. Ask for eyes that can recognize me today. Ask for a heart soft enough not to resist the new, simply because it is different from what is familiar. Ask for humility to receive a blessing clothed in simplicity, watchfulness to see my hand in the smallest details, and courage to follow me when you do not yet have the full map. I am not calling you into uncertainty to confuse you. I am calling you into trust, so you may learn that the one who leads the way is more important than every sign along the road. If today everything does not look the way you expected, do not be quick to lose heart. Perhaps I am doing a new thing in a form you are not yet used to seeing. Perhaps I am preparing a blessing that does not match your imagination, but is exactly what you truly need. Perhaps I am using these ordinary days to lay the foundation for a change, far deeper than anything you can see at this moment. Open your heart, my child. Do not confine me to the past, and do not confine the future within your fear. I am still the faithful one, but my flow is always living. Walk with me with new eyes, new faith, and new expectation. For what I am doing is not only meant to surprise you, but to make you recognize that my love always knows how to reach you, even through the most ordinary things.